Thank you very much, Shiva. Yeah, game two time here for TSM and Aster, and I'm looking forward to this one, folks. We are indeed getting kind of two situations. I mean, the mid matchup in the lane, Browse on the SF, Sumail's on the Ember, should be pretty good on paper for the SF, and then overall the carry's right. We've got Monet on the Medusa, Tomato. They very much let him pick this anti-mage. They left it in, so Aster saying they don't care about playing into the anti-mage when they do this Medusa strat. The question is, will they care by the end of this game, folk? What do you make of this? Do you think this is going to be another easy game for Aster as game one was? Or they may have been a bit too risk-takey, really, with what they left in for TSM this time?
Maybe a bit too cheeky. We'll see. Because the lane matchup, like you said, SF has an advantage over the Ember quite hard. And yeah, AM, I want to see what build Tomato goes. I like what he's got queued up. If he does go down at the Diffusal route, I actually think it's a really interesting one. You double dip on the mana break versus the Medusa.
Absolutely.
The one thing is, it's not just the Medusa. There's an Underlord, which just gives that damage reduction, give those auras, and there's a Coddle just pump up constantly. So we'll see. I actually do favor TSM's draft here, but I think Aster is just a better team overall. So we'll see how this execution ends up going down. As Whitemon, he looks pretty dead.
Yep, they'll blast him back. First blood for Sumail. Definitely gonna help kind of tip things back in Sumail's favor in that mid lane. As you say, playing in a matchup could be tough for the Ember Spirit. Of course, Sumail, he's been on quite a hot streak with his mid performances as of late. So very much a player that will be up for the challenge, and I can imagine does not care what goes up against him in that mid. He's ready to perform.
I'm going to stare at mid. And I think there's definitely potential where it's not going to just be a mid-Ember in most situations. I think they're probably going to rotate them around relatively early and set up for some kills, perhaps.
Sure. We'll get some early chains.
Yeah, early chains potentially, and then just set up for arrow kills. Or there's just going to be quick early TP rotations. And I'm staring, seeing how Sumail is going to do.
Yeah, let's have a look. I mean, because what would you sort of say percentage-wise this leans the way of an SF?
From what I've seen, like 70-30, maybe even more than that, honestly. Like every single time these Embers just get next to nothing, so it might even be higher than that. We'll see how Sumail is able to handle it.
Sure. So anything close to like an even outcome in CS is a big win for the Ember.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And I mean, Sumail, he definitely knows what he's doing because he's definitely played this matchup. He gets counterpicked constantly. He's a god of Ember Spirit, so he's already got an approach. Look, he's got boots right off the bat. So that's already interesting. Of course, he got first blood, which is definitely going to make it a little bit easier, perhaps, for him to dodge and stuff like that. So
yeah, I like that.
We'll see how it all goes down.
Yeah, it makes sense. We're getting the boots first instead of just trying to save it for the bottle, because at the end of the day, if the SF's hitting the raises, you're not really going to be able to sustain through it with the bottle regen. You've just got to do your best to dodge them.
And maybe now at this point, too, like, SF did get nerfed. It no longer slows turn rate.
Correct.
Which actually is pretty huge for something like these melee heroes to try to tank through. So yeah, I'm literally not looking at the other lane, so good luck. Make sure we catch these first bloods and stuff like that, because this is the all-important one.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the other lanes, I guess the kind of the important thing to note is how difficult are both of these side lanes for the carries? Are both carries going to farm fine?
Overall, yeah, I think they should.
Tomato.
AM probably will be slowed down more than the Medusa, though.
Sure, well, we can see XXS getting a good few denies in.
Yeah, Underlord, and there's Blinding Light constantly to harass him. So I'd say the Medusa should free farm, but maybe they can get some kills if Iboka's not careful. With the CM and the AM. CM and anti-mage, yeah.
Yeah, I've got to ask as well, so with this anti-mage build, you just completely forego the Battle Fury, you go treads into Diffusal, and then you fight?
I've seen, I mean, I haven't seen it in a pro game. I've seen people in pubs theorycraft this and stuff like that, so I'm curious to just see it. I'm not too sure.
Okay. Just what with the idea that if you can get these treads and Diffusal at a good time, you will literally jump in on top of this Medusa at a point of the game where Monet he's just going to have nothing, and he'll just pretty much immediately die.
Treads, Diffusal, Manta dead. Yeah, you just hit him once pretty much with each of the illusions plus yourself, and he's gone. But there's also, like, there's going to be other factors, of course, to come in. The chakras and stuff. Top, Iboka. And they set up for him. He's got Blinding Light. He's got Blood Grenade. Tomato's committed deep.
Tomato's dying. He's dead. And now, I mean, XXS, he's not going to have quite enough mana for another Firestorm, so Whitemon will be fine. But yeah, tried to chase for the kill there, and doesn't quite get it. Tomato ends up dying himself.
Dude, and Sumail, he's handling this.
I mean,
he's doing really well.
Absolutely, 13 for 2 against the 16 for 4. That is absolutely a more than okay result for an Ember against an SF.
That's poggers right there for sure. Sumail, he is doing it for now. Of course, it gets harder and harder, but he is doing excellent, and soon rotations will come course, from that Mirana, we'll have to see. But yeah, this is big. The fact that Tomato dies once, that is definitely scary, because the last hitting up here versus an Underlord is difficult. And Baboka, I mean, he knows what to do in this lane. I love Blood Grenade, honestly. I think it's such a cool item that's changed dynamic of a lot of way that lanes can work out, because you jump forward, you get slowed, and then with Coddle 2, there's Blinding Light. There's like 2 or 3 different elements in order to stop carries from hitting you. I actually think even mid-game, this item is amazing.
Yeah, if you got a slot free, like, kind of why not? Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's a good slow. It's just incredible in team fights. And if you land like a 3-man Blood Grenade, it's a good amount of damage even in mid-game. I
mean, how big sort of is the AoE when you throw out?
It's pretty big. It's pretty large for sure. Top Tomato.
I mean, XX says he just got to hit him back. I mean, Tomato? Honestly, he's kind of lucky that knocked him back towards his tower there.
Yeah, I mean, Baboka actually perhaps just saved him.
A little bit of mercy there from the Keeper of the Light. Because, yeah, one more hit or such, and he would have absolutely been going down again.
And I'm watching Monet. He's definitely been playing this Medusa in pubs and stuff like that, or just practiced it a few times. Top again, they're committing. Tomato.
This time round, they'll get the job done.
There you go.
Hey, can they go for Baboka as well?
He's got the Healing Lotus.
Never knock them back. Yep. But there we go. Tomato able to get the kill this time.
Important.
They really needed that. You know, a couple of failed attempts onto the Underlord. It was starting to get a bit rough for Tomato. Ooh. Doesn't want to have to end up taking the tower hit, so won't be able to push forward for Baboka right now. And yeah, mid lane, keeping a track on it. Yeah, Brawl has the lead, but yeah, there's still great amounts of farm being found by Sumail in what is a very difficult sort of situation to be in as an Ember.
Yeah, and he's level 5, so he's got good levels to constantly harass, poke this SF, and then the rotations, it could come if a slight chain comes out if the Mirana sees an option. And he's got Raindrop already, so he should just survive every time. And I've seen a lot of times this lane, yeah, the SF just completely dumpsters it, so yeah, Sumail doing a good job. And he does buy a Blood Grenade. Even on the Ember
Spirit. He gets one as well, yeah.
Yep, so I mean, this is a lot of harassment that can add up. This is cool. And of course, in mid-game, other things we have to talk about, of course, is there's a Coddle, right? So besides the Chakra being thrown onto this Medusa in a lot of situations, Ember is probably one of the top 2.
Absolutely. I mean,
Pango, Ember, those are my 2 favorite mid laners.
For sure. You know, if Monet's not getting gone on at all or he's out of the fights, yeah, Ember is going to be top priority here for Baboka.
And looking at Monet, I'm really happy to see the kind of item build that he's gone for here. He has some stat items, and then Bassi is like one of the most valuable items to get on Medusa, and he's got 15 wand charges.
Yeah, so even with the mana low as it is, it's not really something that they can dive upon.
And the spam, it's starting to add up onto Bryle. They're trying to force him out of lane when this power rune is coming up. Even the Mirana's here.
I mean, Sumail, trying to see if he can get the catch. Bryle, he'll keep it to the distance. He's going to step back down and play aggressive. We'll take out Pichu.
Ooh, missed Blood Grenade there. Sumail tries to throw it backwards. And Ari, he's showing up also. Has dive, has spirits.
And he's going to go aggressive on Sumail. Knows that Sumail still hasn't quite hit the 6. Won't be able to do enough damage on his own though, Ari.
White Mon, there's a slide up. Be okay.
Still a bit low though, Sumail, and doesn't want to play too aggressive until he has 6.
So far pretty good from TSM though. Lanes, after the mid lane was, I mean, it's still impressive. Sumail only 330 gold behind a Shadow Fiend, but across the board, lanes are farming well on TSM. And what's the stack situation looking for the Beastmaster? Yep, I mean, Kasani, this is his best hero. Yeah. So he's got 4 stacks already set up to go for these axes, so has Arcane Boots to be able to spam it down too.
Tomato should be able to pretty much free farm that.
Yeah.
I mean, XXS, he's basically unkillable. I mean, well, 4 heroes might sort out the unkillable sort of position he's in, of course, with his Vanguard. And obviously, once he's out of mana, Tomato belly tickles him. Sumail's going to be coming in with a rotation. We'll get caught by the Frostbite. A couple of razors coming in, bursting Sumail down low.
He's out.
We'll be able to jump away. Tomato considering diving the tower for that one, but he won't go for it. He's going to turn towards Baboka instead, but Baboka's already back to the lane. TSM won't be able to find the kill hit.
They're going to give Sumail the Wisdom Rune as well, too. They are all about Sumail. I mean, they have been in a lot of these games. They just, the opening picks, everything they do is just to set up this man for success, and like, they actually give him a Wisdom Rune. Support's definitely going to be a bit under-leveled because of that, but they want to just play around this Ember Spirit. Play chains.
Got the chain set up.
Ooh, they didn't kill the creep in time.
Oh yeah, weren't able to clear the way for the arrow, so Tomato, he'll get away from that gank.
They even, I think they glyphed there, didn't they? I'm pretty sure they glyphed just in case to try to keep that creep alive there from TSM. That was kind of
cool. Yeah, they absolutely did, Jay, right. He's going to call down Sumail in the river. Couple of raises. Oh. It's not enough. Oh, he's in and he's out. Ari, look for the finisher with the spirits.
He's got him.
He's going to think about going for the deny to the neutral. Sumail, he tries to aggro them. He's got the bottle charge. In fact, Sumail, he's still alive.
No way.
I think sort of during the slight, he dodged maybe a tick of the fire spirits. The Sunray is still there though. Sumail, he's running out of options, will not get away, but it does sort of drag enough focus that Peach is actually able to come in and take the double kill as they take out the 2 supports of TSM themselves.
And Sumail, he'll give respect to that. He's like, all right, you deserve a tip, my friend. Commits forward for the kill on Ari. Bryle starting to really pull ahead now. About 1,300 difference between him and Sumail, and Tomato getting all the space in the world to get this farm. Vanguard's done. Yeah. Gonna be getting toward that defusal.
I mean, yeah, those early moves for Sumail definitely cost him a bit of momentum.
And even though he did get Wisdom Rune, he is still behind in gold and experience, of course, versus Bryle. And yeah, fill up Bryle's bottle, keep this SF ahead.
This is a start TSM needs, you know. The SF having a lead, as should be. And, of course, the anti-mage, Tomato, getting decent farm.
All 3 cores having excellent games. And Kasani now, at this point, he can be left on an island because he's not playing in the lane. He's just jungling. So these supports, they can just keep moving around together, setting up the AM and the SF for success. Same thing to be said, though. Aster just continuing to play around Sumail. They have the shotgun, they have the chains plus the arrow. They're going to look to hit back here.
Yeah, they want to do something about Tomato. I mean, they know that if Tomato hits his timings, if he gets this Vanguard defusal, there'll absolutely be a point of this game where Monet, he'll be terrified of this anti-mage showing up and punching him.
They look to make the move down on bottom, but at the same time, the top move is happening onto Tomato.
Yeah, they really want to get Tomato. Not going to be able to find the instant opening. Sumail will chase down with the Remnants, looking for the chains connection. We'll get it into the arrow. And that'll do it. They take Tomato out. The mission's a success.
And Monet, I think he read the move that's going to be coming from TSM. He actually goes through the Twin Gate as the supports from the side of TSM are moving.
Oh,
so they join his team.
Yeah, and get away from that potential gang. And now be in position to try and push down this tier 1.
A good read from Monet. Bottom, Rune, Sumail. Can't get it from Bryle. TSM, they're just going to push tower instead of reacting to top. It moves all around. 5-4. TSM in a slightly more comfortable position, of course. They're actually looking to defend. They're going to send XXS down bottom. He's got the Fiend Gate, so he can rally his team over.
Can they kill this Underlord? Or they don't want to go on him?
With SF, they can. XXS, he's at 1 Firestorm and he's getting out. Yeah.
He was like, all right, boys, I'll hold the tower. Oh, hang on, there's 4 heroes here. I'd rather not.
His team's probably making the call. He's probably telling them, like, hey, I can Fiends get you guys down. And then someone probably makes the call. No,
we ain't going down.
There ain't no point.
Not against this SF right now, Bryle.
No.
Looking pretty scary.
They're looking to make their own moves. Set up around mid. Ari. Fire Spirits to slow it down. Chains, connect, arrow.
Follow-ups there. And with the burst, it's enough. Sumail able to finish off the kill with the Sleight of Fist. Further TP's coming in, though. Sumail. He'll have the Remnant ready in the river. He's away from Bryle.
Chakra Ember. It's so much fun to watch. I mean, not as a support, of course. You just get deleted. But
slide chain.
It's always fun to see how much they really do play around Sumail. It's super interesting.
And I guess one of the things that just really validates the max chains build. No points of Flame Guard on an Ember.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really go Flame Guard versus SF in the matchup. The arrow, it connects.
They've got the follow-up. This time round, the burst. It's going to be enough, Bryle. He's trying to run, but he'll tick out.
Those are absolutely massive kills. They just stepped up. They're allowing themselves to just get spammed out here from the Slight Chains.
And this, of course, will sort of be the playstyle that will become a bit of a detriment to the AM, right? Because even if Tomato's able to get a good time with his Vanguard defusal, sure, he's going to feel great punching the Medusa, but if it's a Medusa that's in the middle of the entirety of the team of Aster, good luck blinking in and killing the Medusa and getting out alive. Maybe you're going to cause issues for Monet, but you'll almost certainly die when you're jumping into the 5-man push of Aster.
They've got a lot of catch. They've got the Underlord, the Pit. They've got the Slight Chains that are constantly going to be tripping up the AM also. Yeah, it's... I honestly, I've played versus this beast a couple of times of not just the Coddle with the Medusa, but it's with the Underlord too, because the auras, it all adds up and makes a huge difference. Another Slight Chain. Not having to follow up.
I mean, he's ready to chase those Sumail, and he's in. Another Sleight of Fist will do it.
He does it himself. Doesn't need the arrow.
Now dominating. So the first few movements slowed down his game a bit, but he's absolutely catching back up here. 5-1 and 3 now on Sumail.
Hey, that was a pretty crazy blink forward from Tomato.
They get the Frostbite into the Raw. Sumail, he'll get taken out this time. Backup's coming in from XXS. Bryle will put the Requiem to push back. Pichu and XXS make sure that they can't focus in onto Tomato, and Tomato has the space to retreat. Whitemon will get caught on the escape, so Aster, they'll find something. They do get Sumail there, TSM.
Good
Tomato getting involved, getting out of there. he can get back on track to finishing off this defusal.
Great roar there from Kasane. Catches Sumail off guard. I mean, Tomato's blinks are a bit aggressive here so far, but this one ends up working out. Almost has defusal done. About 500 or so away from it, I believe.
So how much mana are you burning there between the two of them? Passive and such.
I mean, it's a lot. It's like over 100.
It's yeah, you're right. We need the sort of the percentage, 4%.
Yep. They're hunting him though. Tomato has to be a bit careful down here. Gonna take the twin gate down. Sumail knows though. Doesn't connect with the chains.
Not quite.
They're gonna refresh him up though.
Gonna try and chase.
Flight.
He's out again with another blink.
Doesn't get the chains again. Arrow.
They could look for the angle. They've got the root. To follow up. And the blink's back up. Tomato's away. Kasane, no roll for 24 seconds.
TSM's got the numbers coming in.
Aster, they've got to be cautious now. A set of axes coming in, but Pichu's able to dodge it with the leap.
Ward sentry. They'll find that ward themselves. The Boca's courier will die. Monet is connecting over. Level 12, Stone Gaze is on. They're looking to hit back here.
I mean, Braille, he's trying to get in close and personal to set up the raises onto XXS.
As soon as Monet shows up, they're like,
yeah, they just back out, leave Whitemon behind, everybody else out.
And Monet is at a point now where he can fight with his team pretty easily. But, I mean, Tomato is soon going to be there as well, where he can start joining in. He still has to be careful, of course, because of slight chains, but Sumail?
They're going to pop the egg.
Do they have a roar?
They're going to be able to kite it out. He does have it if he can get in range, but he's going to get knocked back by the blast hit from Baboka, and this is going to give space for Aster to take down this tier 1 by the looks of it. They still have the roar, but they don't have the supernova to play around in the team fight, TSM. And this tower, it's taken.
The next item is going to be that really tough one for them to deal with. And honestly, Monet, I like this. If he does commit forward for it, decides not to do it, but he was buying the Talisman Evasion and then selling it.
It's one of those games where it's legit valuable to get the early butterfly, because your biggest threat is this anti-mage jumping in and trying to hit you with his passive, with his diffusal blade. If you can dodge those hits, your effective HP, your survivability is going to go up. You know, back to where you hope to have it as a Medusa.
Absolutely. I actually, he bought it and then sold it immediately, maybe thinking like, okay, now, you know what, the team's going to play without me for some time, so I'm going to get the time prior to farm and finish that butterfly. So for TSM, it does feel like right now is a window where they kind of have to look for a fight just to be able to get these kills with this defusal and make it pay off.
Tomato.
He'll find Sumail.
Getting onto Sumail. The mana's gone on Sumail.
It's pumped up, though.
Coming in, the mana void will not be enough to finish off Sumail, and now Tomato, he's in trouble.
Oh, God.
They've got him.
He waited a long time for that mana void. But Baboka gets there to be able to pump him up. I think he waited too long to mana void.
Level 1 mana void is pretty pathetic.
It's true.
It doesn't do a lot of damage, so even if it came at a different time, I don't know if it would have been quite enough.
Okay.
And I think that's sort of why that hesitation was there from Tomato as well. He already kind of knew that the damage wasn't going to be quite there to take down Sumail.
Whitemon now also in trouble. He goes down. That was the timing, though. That was the first showing of the Diffusal Blade.
That was right. He had it done.
He's now going to be off the map for some time. It's going to buy Monet time to finish up Butterfly. Concerns for TSM starting to rise. I feel like I honestly, it does feel like they've got to go fight, perhaps with Tomato.
I mean, you have to when you've done this Vanguard Diffusal build.
Yep.
You know, you're not hitting creeps. You're built to kill.
And Bryle, he actually shows himself for a second. An arrow.
That's gonna be
another slight chain.
It's gonna land. They're in onto Bryle. Supernova's gonna be popping Bryle. He's so low. Monet's gonna be able to finish him off. It's Bryle dead. They just able to take him out. And TSM, they can't do anything to stop Aster from getting the kill.
They're just, I mean, they're getting outplayed just from slight chains over and over again. I mean, Sumail, he's landing every single one with the arrow follow-up, and he's got 2 rounds of it constantly.
I mean,
maybe Tomato's feeling a bit scared because he is playing into these roots, where he's like, okay, maybe I do need like a Manta.
Sure, I mean,
but you don't want to farm versus this Dusa who's gonna get a butterfly, and then you have no timing.
Especially when you go on Vanguard Diffusal, you haven't got sort of the Battle Fury or anything.
Yeah.
You know, this was the game plan, and I think we're very much seeing why Aster. They didn't really care what TSM picked in response. They didn't care about this SF into Ember because they knew how strong the Ember Core would be in this portion of the game. And they didn't care about this anti-mage because whilst indeed AM versus Medusa in a vacuum feels fantastic for the AM, you throw all the other components into this, and this anti-mage, no Tomato, even though he's got this Vanguard Diffusal, he feels terrible about jumping into the fights because they're probably going to be able to kite him out, split the Medusa from him, and then kill him off.
Oh, and she's pretty much going to have Diffusal done. And I feel like for Aster, they can just be like, okay, let's now accelerate things even more. It's time for Roshan.
You said Diffusal.
Oh, sorry, Butterfly.
Butterfly, yeah, right.
You know what I meant. But yeah, he's going to have Butterfly now. Yeah, I think right after, maybe even before he does have it finished, they can go Roche, and then TSM's forced in a position that they got to fight around Roche, and they're very fragile right now. SF, Bryle, he is literally just going to constantly die to all this magic damage.
I mean, it's been happening the last few times. He's fallen behind, lowest on the cores right now, Bryle.
Oh, it's starting to look rough.
It is. Already just 18 minutes in, Aster looking to be in a very good spot, and TSM's sort of supposed counter picks not really doing a whole lot right now.
And look at the support differential too, right? It's just they're so farmed on everybody on the side of Aster.
And they go all in on a XXS hit, and they'll get him.
They do.
Tomato, he's on the hunt for more, he needs it.
He needs more.
He'll be able to get the setup onto Baboka. They'll find another.
Okay. Now I think they go Roche. I think this is the window for TSM to actually get it. They get two big
kills. You've got this SF, you've got the Beastmaster. Yeah, you've got good setup here to safely take down Roshan, and with 2 dead on Aster, should be enough of a window to get away with this. TSM finding an opportunity to get back in a little bit on this game with this play.
Honestly, Kasani's kind of carrying them a little bit here. This Beastmaster, the Royal connection from earlier, now with his auras, he's been farming quietly, top of the net worth for his course, but the fight, it's coming to them.
Yeah,
they're respawning in time.
They're going to look to try and take the fight before coming in for the roast. Male's charging immediately in on them.
Monet's here with the full butterfly.
I mean, yeah, Aster's back up as a full 5, and they're ready to go. And TSM, they're in an awkward spot right now. What do they do to get out of this? Hari does have Supernova. He'll pop it. Requiem as well to push Aster back.
0 damage done to this Dusa.
And Bryle, he's so low. He's got to pretty much hide out the rest of this fight in the trees. He tries to TP away, but Samael, he's in on top of him with the Remnant.
They're surrounded.
Bryle's gone. And TSM, they didn't have the capability of taking Roche because they just didn't have the damage right now. They don't have quite enough items to take it down quicker than Aster can get to them because this tier 1 tower still there on the top lane for easy access towards the pit. He'll turn with the roar onto Samael, but he's on his own, completely on his own, Kasani. A failed TP will result in another kill for Aster. As Aster, they'll continue to get back to growing that lead.
Oh, and this is the moment there for TSM. It's like, yeah, they get these kills, but you know what? At New Roche, it's tanky. You can't actually just bring it down, even though you have the auras coming from Underlord. It's 37
Yeah, they
armor.
didn't have enough.
They don't have enough damage.
They didn't even really bring it close, right?
No, not even close.
As will now be a chance for Aster. I mean, you see all smiles here from Samael. He knows how well this is going. I mean, honestly, any sort of Ember player, when you got the back of a cottle, you're having a great time.
You are. You're having a blast.
You know, Samael, he is loving Baboka right now.
I mean, and Monet is having the dream. Look at this.
Yep.
It's 106. They haven't touched the Dusa. 4,000 ahead of the counter, of course, versus that anti.
Well, that's the thing. That is the concern with this build as the end. You've gone this Vanguard Defusal. It's 21 minutes in. You've just not been able to abuse that sort of strength you feel that you have against the Medusa. And honestly, the matchup, it's just not going to feel any better because of how much this Medusa is completely out farming you. 13.5k on Monet. Tomato. He's trying to get this Manta done. But even with that, he's going to jump in, and himself and the illusions will get cleaned up very, very quickly by Aster. It's very difficult to play us from behind now as the anti-mage.
It gets like worse and worse because the Medusa overall is more enabled than the anti-mage as well too, to just have that late game progression with an Underlord aura, with the chakras constantly being thrown out, and they're even building like Solar Crest and stuff like that to even pump her up even more.
Because I've been wondering as well, because I haven't really seen any sort of these games where the anti-mage has been left against the Medusa and the anti-mage is picked. Is this the normal approach to go Vanguard Defusal rather than still get the Battle Fury and then kind of play to keep your farm on par? But, you know, of course, opt for the, just start with the basics. Still get the Battle Fury, the Manta, maybe slipping a Defusal Blade after. I mean, what do you think the correct way to go against the Medusa is if you're getting the AM pick?
It all depends on. I think both builds can work. It's all about how you play around it, though, right? So I feel like this game, he was like Bryle struggling, so they wanted to build the fight earlier to try to maybe get Bryle back in the game. But I mean, it just isn't working. TSM,
Samael
thinks it's not working. He is just in.
He's just walking around behind their ancient. They couldn't do anything about him. As Bryle, he's got the BKB 22 minutes in.
I'm trying to check to see about the. Because I don't think we've got... There's a sample size is small, right?
Yeah, for sure.
For now. With this
We're starting to get a few of these Medusa games coming out, and I imagine in a lot of the Medusa games, the anti-mage is normally banned.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe after this one, you know, Monet and Aster very much making an argument for, hey, you know what, you don't need to worry about an anti-mage.
So looking at all the games that we've had here at this tournament, there has been no anti-mage versus the Medusa just yet. So in pubs, you know, you can theory craft all that kind of stuff, but in pro games, it's different. Wrap around.
Handle, they get the jump, immediately blowing up XXS. Question is, what more can they get after that? A couple of ults to start off the action, and now What more can they go for off the back of that TSM? I mean, Aster, they're just kind of straight back to hitting the base. They're like, okay, you've shown your hand. We'll go back to pushing the high ground. Tomato's jumped in. They've got him with the arrow. Monet beating into him. Won't have enough damage, though. Tomato's able to split away. The Supernova off to the side. Aster, they'll focus and take down the egg.
No hesitation from XXS. Instant buyback into Fiend's Gate to join his buddies.
And Tomato is going to turn to Sumail. Sumail out of mana. Tomato does not want to stand his ground. As the buff up's there, Sumail, he's got more mana to play with. Another slight change. Manta's still on cooldown. Tomato, he'll get another blink off, but he's going down. Slider fist there from Sumail.
No buyback.
He's out of the game for 45. They took the full set of racks down bottom. Very much feeling that once again, this game, as was sort of the game one, it just doesn't really have any sort of recovery plan here for TSM. I don't know how they turn this one around.
Honestly, Aster it looks like a team that's been playing with Sumail for a very long time.
It really does. They just work so well together.
And you know what the crazy, I know Jenkins, he always likes to talk about the bubbies, and it's like Baboka and XXS, they're like these teammates that's played together forever.
Sure.
Baboka is just playing literally with Sumail the entire game and just buffing him up and enhancing him so that he's having this really good performance.
Yep.
8-2-9 on Ember, who was in versus the SF. Just cannot keep reiterating how important that is.
I mean, absolutely. We're seeing sort of better coordination between Sumail and Aster compared to a lot of other teams here on LAN. You know what I mean? This is not a sort of a lineup where they've got Sumail as the stand-in and they're putting him on some sort of heavy, greedy position that sort of plays separate to the moves of the team.
No.
He's in there, he's running around the map with them. And even in a game like this where the first sort of movements weren't off to a hot start, they stuck to it, they played together, and 24 minutes in, 20-8, 10K, it's looking fantastic again today here for Aster.
I've gotten to cast Aster a lot because I did the DPC a couple times for them, and honestly, this just looks the cleanest that they're playing. They just have great synergy. And TSM,
they're closing down games early.
And Tomato,
he's jumped in.
He's gone, and he has no buyback.
And they may call it soon. There's a full daedalus on Monet.
Absolutely massive, an untouched Medusa.
Yeah, and just respect to Aster for the draft as they left them. They didn't care. SF into Ember, whatever. Sorry, Ember into SF, whatever. Medusa into Anti-Mage, we don't care.
Hey, Bryle just keeps getting caught by these arrows. Slight chain arrow, slight chain arrow. Monet's in. He wants to end it.
So man, he's going to be ready to jump in after the Supernova if he wants to. He could play super aggressive here. Have a slight holding back TSM. As Aster, they just have all the space in the world to take out the mid set of barracks.
Really clever, I mean, really well played here from Aster. Another one. They'll find him. They've even also, the other thing is, like, it's been a lot of just Aster dominating, but they've also just been passing healing lotuses to this Medusa most of the game. That's the second, I think, great healing lotus that she's had on her, which is probably the most valuable hero to actually have it.
Well, I was trying to set something up in the mid, but
last chance from Tomato.
Not going to happen. They're all buffed up here, Aster, pretty much full HP. They're about to take the mega creeps as well.
It's only 26 minutes on. Bryle's just dying to the Firestorm. Tomato looking to jump in.
He's going to try and go for Baboka.
But he's bonked away.
He's not back by the blast. The Mana Void was enough for Baboka. He's out of there.
He's styling on him.
He really wants to kill Tomato. He's desperately chasing this. He will get it. He's able to take down Baboka. They've dealt with the supports, but they're not dealing with the cores. And the buybacks are coming in from Aster's two backups. Tomato. He tries to go for Baboka again. It's not happening as he'll walk away.
He's killing his items.
Delete his items. He'll call it. This game, this series, it's over. GG. 27 minutes.